Anyone else?
Stuff. There we go. All right, guys, welcome. Lots of great stuff this week. I know, some of you, we were talking a little bit as we were getting started. We're still waiting for a couple new agents to come in. I'll do some quick edification shout outs. So we've got, Jean, you might want to send Charlene the link, Jean Braun. I don't know. She may be at her full-time job and that's okay, but she's always plugging in. So I just want to make sure she has this as well. So you might want to send that to Charlene. And then let me see, Angie, Amanda. Oh my gosh, I got so much to say. Okay, first things first, guys. The book of the month, right? So we've announced the new book of the month on Band. If you didn't see it, you may not be checking Band as frequently as would be beneficial for you. I think that's the best way to put it. The more you plug in, the better you'll do here, right? Never going to force you or pressure you. I'm just giving you the sage advice that, some of us learned the hard way our first couple months and then was like, oh, okay, I guess I should do what they're telling me and this will actually work. So book of the month was posted on Band. It is Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. I'm going to type it in the chat here. Look at Steve Devine. I love it. Steve T. Harv Eckert is the author. Now, guys, this is a very special book. Look at Betsy. I love it. Mine's on Kindle. I could prove it to you. I have Kindle and Audible. And I have 2 hard copies at home, believe it or not. So that was by accident. But Secrets of the Millionaire Mind is my all-time favorite book that we've read. And we've read some amazing books at the Cook Group. But this one really shifted my paradigm like no other book that we've read. And what I love, especially, I do recommend reading these books. There's something about the brain to visual connection that really deep seats it in your brain. But I have to say there are some books, like the Matthew McConaughey book that we read. I mean, do I want to read this in Mark Newbauer's voice, or I want to hear Matthew McConaughey read this to me, So I chose Matthew McConaughey and it was a way better experience, right? So sometimes that just works because I can't say, all right, like he can. But Secret to the Millionaire Mind is another one where the author reads the book and he's just so passionate about it and it's so real deal. It's so simplistic that I can't not recommend the audio just the same. So you can get through this book very quickly in your car. With Steve and I used to always say, treat your car like a rolling university when we started this job, because when we started, we were out in the field, right? So we'd be in our cars 2, 3, 4 hours a day, sometimes more. And you could knock out a book a week pretty easily. So make that time, right? I love listening to the radio too. Music is good for the soul. I'm not suggesting you just replace your life of music with all audiobooks, but I can tell you having an audiobook like this playing in the car can make a big difference in terms of what's happening subconsciously for you and how much you'll get out of it by hearing it in repeatedly, right? So I've listened to this book probably 5 or 6 times at least. It is my favorite book because it talks about the financial thermostat that we've all got set. And we talked about this a little bit. I'm not going to belabor the point. No spoilers here. Just read the book. But I promise you, this is a paradigm shifting book. It's important that you read it if you haven't. It will set the pace for you in a big way, not only for Symmetry, but no matter what you're pursuing, guys, outside of this, maybe you've got a greater passion that's above and beyond that this is simply being the fuel for. And no matter what the case, this is going to help you position your brain in a way that it's ready to receive that which you desire. Because whether you realize it or not, Dan Keigerling and I were talking earlier, fire was magic to cavemen until you realized it was science, right? So the stuff I'm talking about is science. It's just only now kind of catching on in the world. Great quote that we love by Arthur C. Clarke, which is advanced technology is, how does it go here? I thought it'd be cool.
Indistinguishable from that. Sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic.
Sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. That's a pretty powerful quote if you think about it, because again, cavemen thought fire was magic, right? So what I'm talking about with Millionaire Mind, guys, is it will subconsciously reprogram your brain. Your brain right now, whether you realize it or not, has a financial thermostat, and that thermostat has a limit on it. And just plainly put, I'm oversimplifying, but if you've got a financial thermostat of, hey, I'm worth 50,000 a year, that's all I've ever made to date, but I want to make 100. If you don't know how to adjust your financial thermostat, and if you don't go through the exercise of adjusting your financial thermostat, and that's what this book will do for you if you apply everything and read it, you could earn 80,000 next year, of course, but something's going to happen. The car will break down, you know, you might get robbed or whatever. You're still only going to make that 50,000 for the year. So again, I'm oversimplifying, but truly that's how it works. And that's why most of us have these dreams and aspirations that always seem like maybe they're out of reach, because we haven't subconsciously programmed ourselves correctly. A lot of great practical stuff in this book too. So anyway, not trying to oversell the book. It's amazing. And I know we talked about this last week, guys, but reading is one of those things that may appear like it's non-correlative to your success here, but it's quite the contrary. It's the foundation of what will help you cultivate success here. So Secret to the Millionaire Mind, get it on Kindle, get it on Audible, go to the library. It's free, right? Take advantage of those buildings that still do exist, and you can go in there and read for free, and even take the books home for free as long as you return them. And what else? Book of the month was a big one. We got some live events coming up still. I'm going to get to Kaylee and Maurice in a moment, because they took the time out of their busy days to attend the meeting in Orlando yesterday. And in fact, before I talk about the upcoming meetings, Maurice and Kaylee, if you guys wouldn't mind, just 30 seconds, 3 minutes, whatever you want to take, I would love to hear why you went yesterday, and if you got value out of yesterday, and if so, would you recommend that other agents get to a meeting like you attended, and if so, why? So there's my 10-part question that you can answer in any way you desire.
I will gladly go first.
Okay, Kaylee, have at it.
All right. So practically the reason why I went mostly was because I literally just got licensed. I'm just starting out. I haven't even bought my first set of leads yet. So pretty much what I want to do was I wanted to hear it from the pros. I got to hear the top leads, the producers. I got to hear from the top builders. And honestly, it inspired a lot in me. It literally lit that fire. Like, it was so informational. Like, there was so much information that half the stuff I have written down, the other half I took pictures of the big screen. I even have recordings. And the one thing out of the entire scenario that shocked me the most was when an 11-year-old came up on stage. The fact of the matter is, if an 11-year-old can sit there and buy himself 50-cent leads to help out with his mom to get applications in, yes, an 11-year-old. If he can do this, so can we.
That's incredible. Wow. Did not know that. Talk about a spoiler. That's amazing.
That was pretty awesome.
It was amazing. It was the biggest wow factor to me anyways. The entire out of all those 3 hours, that was my biggest wow factor. Like, wow, here I am completely petrified. Yet this 11-year-old boy is sitting here making these calls. He read us his script and it was hysterical. Best icebreaker I ever heard.
Do you remember it? I'd love to hear that.
It was partially why it was pretty much the same as our script, pretty much narrowed down. And he actually brought out a conversation where someone was actually telling him no. And he goes, well, good. That's exactly why I'm calling you. Don't you want this coverage in case you die, or if your wife dies? You're not going to have that money, are you? And the way this boy just opens up and breaks that ice that way, it's so forward and so true. I was like, I'm petrified that this kid literally got like all this. That boy's gonna go places. I'm gonna say that right now. He will go places in this business.
I'm glad you got to witness that. And so would you recommend agents go to something like you got? Do you feel they would get value out of that? Do you feel there's advantage to
Definitely.
that?
Most definitely. Because it definitely teaches you from bottom up, like with the leads, for, like the top producers, for instance. We got to learn how much they spent when they started, how many leads they purchased, and then how much they first made compared to what they purchase now and what they bring in now. Like you got them, some of them started off, I started at 50, and then my mentor was like, let's kick that up a notch. Then he went up to 150, then 250. And now, and this is $250, mind you, they spending a week in lead. Now he spends $1,000 a week and doesn't even blink.
Yeah.
Doesn't
And
even
that's
have
the way
second
it
thoughts.
goes.
And most of them are like, I don't think I've spent less than $750 a week and didn't even think about it. I just add it to my cart now and I don't even stress. And I was like, okay, okay.
But they started somewhere, right, Kaylee?
They started somewhere.
You don't just come in here and worry about dropping 1,000 a week, right, guys? You start with what you've got, and you work to resolve it. You definitely get out of your comfort
Doing
zone.
pretty good. Glad to finally get some nice warm weather and enjoy the kickoff to the lake season. And I'm
Where is that?
Midwest here, so
Everybody's
Julian.
muted.
Julian.
so
Oh, I
I
see.
am.
There we go. Thank you. It's like a game, right? You can who can spot the noise first. I love you, Jules. I know you lead a very busy life, so I just muted you. Much respect to everything here. That's hilarious. Kaylee, thank you for sharing that. And guys, just so you know, one of the first things I hear from people when I say you got to go to this event is I don't need all that rah-rah. I don't need this and that. So you heard it from Kaylee, guys. It's not about rah-rah, right? You can be the most inspired person in the world, but if you don't have focus, if you don't have direction, if you don't have vision and instruction, then what are you going to do with all that, right? You're going to be like me 6 or 7 years ago, without sounding like an infomercial. Don Lapre, right, Steve? I just placed one tiny ad in the newspaper. You may remember that? Anyway, I digress. Guys, me 6 or 7 years ago, where I was a bundle of energy. I'm inspired by quite a bit, and I had 5 different businesses going at once, but I didn't know what I was doing. 1 second, guys. I'm sorry about this. There's literally a football game in my ear. And as Steve knows, I don't listen to football. I have no clue how that even got here. Raycons?
Who's winning?
I don't know. I think it was Notre Dame or something. Were you listening to football? Somehow it popped into my Bluetooth. All right, guys. Pardon the interruption. That's on me. But as Kaylee just demonstrated, guys, it's not all rah-rah, right? There's instruction, there's training, there's real life training that happens at these events. And it's that one moment, right? What was this, 2-3 hours yesterday? 3-4 hours?
It was roughly about 3.5.
Okay. But that one moment, guys, probably changed the entire trajectory of Kaylee's career, because she now has the belief that a lot of us new agents don't have in the beginning. The leads, do they work? Well, they do if you do, right? I was very skeptical when I bought my first set of leads. And when I got my belief, because I hadn't been to a live event yet, I happened to get a lead that my mom's name was on. John and Mary Newbauer. I couldn't believe it. My mom filled one of these out, because I'm like, who fills these out? I wouldn't even open the envelope. I'd shred it. And sure enough, I called her, joked. I said, Mrs. Newbauer, I said, what are you doing? I said, well, I didn't even tell her, because I was embarrassed, to tell you the truth, when I first got my license. I said, well, I got my insurance license and I bought these leads, and your handwriting is on it. And she said, well, I said, did you really fill this out? And she goes, yeah, well, me and your dad, we remodeled the kitchen and we wanted to get a little extra protection on him. I said, so you filled this out? I said, and what happened? She goes, well, somebody called me and they came over to the house. I said, you actually got it? Like, you bought a policy? She goes, yeah. I said, send it to me. And sure enough, it was an American Amicable policy. And somebody from, it was another agency. I had bought, these were like old leads. And shit, this was weeks ago. But that's what gave me my belief. I'm like, if my parents, who don't usually do stuff like that, filled this out, had someone to the house, And mind you, that's kneecap to kneecap. That wasn't even a Zoom appointment. So anyway, we all get our belief in different ways, but mine was very happenstance, luck of the draw. If you plug in, you're going to get it a lot easier and in a guaranteed fashion, the way that Kaylee did. So Maurice, I'd love to hear about your feedback as well, because Maurice, you're a seasoned agent. I love that we get the yin and yang here. Kaylee's brand new. Met with her first client this morning. By the way, I just want to congratulate Kaylee. Porch was barely breathing this morning. She's hyperventilating because she was about to go into her first appointment, and they had no internet, and right on top of all of it. All right. Yeah, I'm still here. Thank God. Okay. You guys can hear me, right?
Yeah.
So you know how these earbuds have, you just touch them and they do something, right? You want to turn it up, you touch it twice. If you want to do 3, I can't figure it out. So somehow it just keeps playing. If I literally brush it, YouTube starts playing. So anyway, yin and yang, Kaylee Porch, brand new. Sorry for stealing your thunder, Kaylee here.
I got it.
First clients today, and here I thought I was going to carry her, right? Because I'm like, well, she literally is appointed with no carriers. She just got licensed this morning. She got her op logins. Like, she knows. I don't want to say you know nothing, right? But you're brand new.
Little to none.
She goes in there and just handles it like a pro. Starts asking questions about their health, prescription, surgeries, just like Dustin taught her. Because Dustin, we cannot wait till he comes back full time, was one of the best students and now one of the most impactful leaders that we've got on our team, because he's a student of the system. And man, whatever you and Kaylee did initially, Dustin, she just walked in there, was a real pro. We didn't have internet. It was all on speaker. And she got through all the questions, qualified them. And only because she's not appointed with carriers did we not write an app today. I mean, they were practically begging us to get this done. So
And Mark, she just sticks to the script. She's been studying the script. She knows what it says. We walked through the outline of the real script. Always start with rapport, move to emotion, get the assessment from the client, and never start showing quotes or tell the client or let the client tell you what they need.
that's awesome. Congrats, Kaylee. And so now, again, someone who I'm so blessed to be in business with, all of us are, Maurice Flynn down in Florida. Now, Maurice is a seasoned professional. He's been in this world for what, decades, Maurice? You've done all kinds of presentations for all kinds of people.
Almost 20 years.
There you go. And so this was also a new experience and a new way that Maurice is looking into to experience. And Maurice, so I'd love, again, the yin and yang. I'd love to know how you felt about everything yesterday and what you got out of it.
Okay. Well, first of all, I went.
How many?
I went because there's. Okay. I went because there was, being old in the business, you tend to forget stuff. You kind of get yourself into, I won't say a rut, but you tend to do the same things over and over again. And you forget about the things that made you successful to begin with. So when you go to these seminars like that, it jogs the memory of, oh yeah, I used to do that. Yeah, I remember that. So that's the reason I went. And I did pick up a lot yesterday. I won't go through everything I wrote down because it can take a lot of notes, but the one thing the first speaker said was, what do we do in our business? What do we do? And, of course, not everybody, but a lot of people said, well, we sell life insurance. He said, no, we don't. He said, yes, we do, but no, we don't. We protect families. That's number one. And number two, we develop leaders. And so I thought, well, okay, I forgot about that. Not the protect families part. I've always known that. Development of leaders, I've had my share of leaders I've developed and have moved on. But the other thing that got me was the four cornerstones of success. And number one thing was to believe in yourself. You know, even an old timer like me can lose their what's the word I'm thinking of, confidence in themselves, and they can kind of like the 11-year-old kid. When the 11-year-old kid went up there and did that thing, I sat back and I said, you know what? We have to be like the 11-year-old kids. Kids don't know any different. They've never been rejected as far as on the telephone with that. They're not afraid to pick up the phone and start calling people. We are, because we're older. we faced that rejection before. Until we get over that, once we get over it, it's clear sailing. So the belief in yourself was number one. Personal growth. Gee, I don't know where I've ever heard that before. I think we just talked about that, didn't we, Mark? Something about a book. And association was important. What he didn't mean association with joining an association. He meant be careful about who you associate with. Because if you hang out with people who are negative, if you hang out with people who say you're never going to be successful, insurance, are you kidding me? Why in the world would you want to do insurance? Those type of people you don't want to hang around with. That's my cat's bushy tail. So hang around with people who will encourage you, like what we're doing today. And as long as we're talking about what we're doing today, another big thing was to plug into everybody, every leader, anybody that will give you positive growth information. Just plug into it. Plug into everything, like the thing we did yesterday. The one coming up in Colorado. Just plug into those things, because the more we plug into them, the more we learn. And when we think we're not learning, it's kind of sinking in. It's in the back of the head in there, and it'll all of a sudden pop out when you're on a meeting with somebody, or somebody asks you a question that you're not quite sure about. It'll pop up. Gee, I heard that answer before. So that was a good thing. Like that, you're in my way. So that to go along with that is to stay with your upline. Just listen to what he has to say. Take his information and his steering of your growth. Take it seriously, because they know what you need. Listen to the leadership and get on those calls that you said earlier. And then the last thing that really was the last speaker of the day, and I can't remember his name. I wish I had written it down, but he went up there. He was pretty dynamic. He's been around for a long time, but his thing was to have a story, and he told his story, and his story was just, it had me riveted to my seat. It was a story that the emotions went from yay to a little sad, back to yay again. But that was quite a story. And then he said, after you get your story, take a stance, believe, do it. Don't let anybody steer you away from it. And that means even that person sitting across the table from you or on the Zoom call with, don't let them steer you away from what your objective is. And then the third thing he said was to make an impact. Do something, anything, but make an impact. So that's it was quite a 3.5 hours, and got to meet some people, and it was pretty cool.
That's fantastic. Kaylee and Maurice and anyone else that attended Orlando. By the way, if you did yesterday, please speak up. But Morgan, I know you already had a scheduled event that was outside of town, so I totally understand why you didn't go. But Maurice and Kaylee, I can't thank you guys for sharing enough, because number one, get registered for conference, right? The reason I say that, guys, is because of what you just heard from Kaylee and Maurice and what they experienced yesterday. It's like watching the trailer for the new Top Gun movie versus actually going to see it, right? And national conference might even be like sitting in that fighter jet, you know, in real life. I mean, it's that much more powerful. It's that much more sustainable if you decide to employ all the stuff that you're going to learn at conference, all the people you're going to associate with at conference. It'll just expedite your path here like nothing else. And sad but true, if you don't go to conference, statistically speaking, guys, within about 6 months, you're going to fade out. And that'll be that. And the last thing I want to see anybody do is make that bold move into new territory, you know, in wanting to build a business and a career here at Symmetry, and then not do what it takes to succeed here. So what? We've all wasted that time, money, and energy, right? I don't want to see you guys doing that. I want to see you guys succeeding and thriving here the way that the system was designed to have you do, so long as you follow the simple steps. And mind you, I didn't say easy, did I? I said simple. And there's a big difference there. So this also helps build up that, you know, that mental fortitude and that resilience that's necessary in any level of entrepreneurship. I mean, if you're going to build a business, you got to be rock solid, and that's not always easy. And particularly in the world of sales, no matter what the industry is, as we always say, guys, it's a numbers game before it's a service game. So you're going to hear a lot more no's and everything else before you hear a yes. And if that 11-year-old can do it, Maurice, you just struck me with what you said. That is, we all need to be more like that 11-year-old, right? When we're children, anything is possible, right? When you got that good support system and they ask you what you want to be, you don't hesitate when you say, I want to be an astronaut, or I want to be the president, or I want to be the next Elon Musk, right? You don't hesitate. It's just what you're going to be because that's what you want to accomplish. And then somehow through life and through the grind of it all and through limiting beliefs and poor association and all that good stuff and lack of personal development, that childlike nature starts to fade away and chip away, and we become a different version of ourselves. But just so you know, guys, no matter how many piles of clothes or whatever it's under inside of you, is still that childlike spirit, is still that childlike mind, and is still you at your greatest self, right? That's still right there. And all this stuff that we promote about personal development is to uncover that again and bring you, the real you, the best version of you to the forefront, so that you can impact as many people as you can in a positive way. And then income, guys, is just a byproduct of impact. That's all it is, right? Think about anything, whether it's the guy that's, you know, selling a hot dog on the street, all the way up to, you know, Jeff Bezos founding Amazon. It's that they're offering impact, right? And it's whatever level of impact you're offering that the income is brought to you as a byproduct of that. So we want to impact as many people as we can. Eric Rush has a thought from Tom Bellew. Did I say that with the right?
Tom Bellew was the guy that built Quest.
Okay. The Quest bars, the protein bars.
Yep. He has a show called Impact Theory, and he did a keynote. And this one really hit me right between the eyes, because anybody that knows me knows I've been around quite a while in comparison to the success that I've had. And the one thing that he said that is helping me kind of get my oars back in the water again: do not determine your future capabilities because of your past success. That would be like saying a stick of dynamite has no potential because you haven't lit it yet.
I love it. I love it. Thank you for sharing that, Eric, because it goes right along with the book of the month, guys. Setting that thermostat is so important. And this, you know, we as leaders, we don't just pick these books randomly. We actually have a meeting about the books. We all suggest different books. We weigh in on it. We say, what's going to help people the most right now? You know, that kind of thing. And so we carefully select these. And just know that if you've been here for more than a spell, Yeah, have we read this before? I think twice now, right, Steve? Maybe 2 or 3 times. But the great thing about books, guys, and even movies or any kind of input, is the exact same thing viewed from a different lens is going to impact you in a different way. So me reading this book last year, certain things resonated with me then that I don't need to hear anymore. I've learned those lessons, right? And there are other things that my mind just subconsciously breezed through, thought didn't matter, or just kind of, passively was like, maybe I froze. And now this year I'm hearing them and they're like, whoa, how did I never hear that before? And you'll find that if you really participate in everything we're suggesting, reading that book of the month, whether you've read it or not before, is going to be highly impactful. So without further ado, guys, very, very important that, again, this is all for your success. You guys do what you want. I'm just telling you how to build a successful business here. Get yourself registered for conference, right? Now, Lauren, there was a huddle this morning where Lauren broke down how to budget out for conference. I was actually helping Kaylee during the huddle, so I didn't get to attend it, but she did record the huddle. So I'll make sure to get that out to the team so you guys can watch that. If you're having questions about how to budget for conference or make it work, she's broken it down very simply. But make sure you get registered, book that room. Kaylee had a great suggestion on one of our meetings. Now we have so many meetings, I can't remember, but Kaylee had a great suggestion, one of our last meetings. She found that by using Expedia and bundling her flight and hotel, she's still staying at the Hyatt where we're staying, but she was able to save quite a bit of money versus the rack rate that we're offering on the website. So more power to you. If you can go on Expedia and bundle that room and flight, you might save yourself a couple $100, which is awesome. The other thing is pay attention to Slingshot, especially new agents. Pay attention to your raise requirements. I always keep this on my desk. I mean, it's right here. Anytime I'm talking to you, I can just pull it right up. Because without a vision, guys, without an idea of where you want to go, you're never going to end up there, right? You got to have the destination in mind. You got to plug in your GPS. So, I'm working on my 110. So I know what I have to achieve, right? You guys are somewhere along the lines here. You guys have another level to get to, and keeping your promotions in front of you is going to help. Now, you new people, just so you know, in case you don't know, because I know there's a lot of information floating around. First and foremost, back to Kaylee and Maurice. Again, thank you guys so much for your edification on the event. We've got one coming up first of all, this Saturday. It's on the events calendar, so check it out in band. But Val Zarn will be hosting a corporate overview in California, SoCal, Irvine, California. If you know anybody that you'd like to be in business with, or if you yourself are within a 3 to 4 hour drive of Irvine, California, get to that event with Val. Same thing with any of these cities. Now, I know Randy Johnson, love you to death, brother. Randy is going to be driving all the way from Iowa to Indianapolis, Indiana, because he understands the importance of plugging in. And certainly after Maurice and Kaylee weighed in on their experience, I'm sure even more so. But he's driving from Iowa to Indianapolis for the June 22nd event. So get out of your comfort zone, guys, and get into your cars and maybe even hop a flight. Joe Martinez went from struggling big time his first 3-4 months here to deciding he was going to attend every event that came up. Joe would be jumping on planes to go to events across the country to soak up as much info and intel as he could from the leaders that are making it happen. And he very quickly thereafter became one of the top agents in the entire company. No previous insurance experience whatsoever. He was a restaurant manager working 80 hours a week. And he'll say it himself, throughout his career, it cost him a marriage and all kinds of stuff. That brutal schedule that is the hospitality industry. He came here and within 3-4 months decided to attend every event there was. And now he's one of the most successful agents in Symmetry. And if you're friends with Joe on Facebook, you can see he's one of the happiest people I know. And I was tearing up thinking of Joe last night because he's just such an impact on our agency. And he's just the nicest, sweetest guy in the world. He will do anything to help you. and teach you. And he's living the life now because he put in the work, and you can too, guys. But plugging in is part of the work. So Las Vegas, Nevada, guys, if you just want to make it a fun trip with your significant other or a couple of friends, I regret so much that I'm not able. I can't say regret. I have FOMO. What do they call it? Fear of missing out. I don't regret it because I got a family reunion that we planned a year ago. But I'm going to be at a family reunion in Indiana this week. So unfortunately, I will not be there, full disclosure. But every leader you can imagine outside of me is going to be in Vegas on June 15th. Val Zarn's going to be there. Chris Cook's going to be there. Jeff Miller's going to be there. Kimberly Miller's going to be there. Angie, Amanda, you guys are going to be there. John Chaney's going to be there. Joe Martinez is going to be there. Guys, it's not only going to be an incredible learning experience, but the association, the fun that you're going to have with these people and getting to know them and realizing that, you know, we are all pretty much kindred spirits. I mean, we get to choose who we work with in this company, and there's no other organization like the Cook Group that bonds like we do. And you can talk to other agencies. They say, I mean, we've been told this, right, Betsy? You guys have something really special.
100%. 100%.
We really do, guys. There's something that Chris and Lauren did right, where we all look out for each other, whether you're in their agency or not. They'll bend over backwards to help you. So anyway, go meet those leaders, make the trip. The nice thing about Vegas is there's usually pretty cheap flights, right? So same for Maurice and Kaylee. I'm not saying you have to, but I don't care if you attended one last week, it's worth going to another. You're going to hear from a different set of leaders, different perspectives associated with different people. So anyway, guys, Vegas is going to be a huge one. June 15th, June 22nd. Again, I know Randy's going to be in Indy. There's going to be a lot of amazing leaders in Indianapolis on June 22nd. So if you're closer to that, you know, get there. And then of course we want to register for conference. But guys, here's that slingshot. I hope you newbies know. You can get to your next raises in 1 month instead of 2. So all of you must know by now, you can get a 5% raise commission bump every 2 months here by hitting certain benchmarks. But Symmetry has made it super simple to get to 85 in only 3 months with increased production. So if you want to get to 75 the old fashioned way, you do 2,500 APV a month for 2 months in a row. But if you do 5,000 in 1 month, not only will you get your raise, but they'll give you a 10% bonus on your production. So in this case, you write 5,000, you're going to get a $500 check from Symmetry, direct deposit, and you get a raise to 75. Same thing with 80 and 85. So just keep on the website, guys. There's stuff going on all the time. And of course, book your conference. Please do it today. I'm not saying I'm watching you, but I'm watching you. I get notices when you register. So I know who's registered. I know who's not. I like to ask to make sure make sure everybody's awake and there's a pulse. But if I haven't stressed it enough, get on the boat, guys. By the way, I'm waiting on my owner's pack, but Eric Rush has an owner's pack. Unless he tells me otherwise, he has a few tickets left that can be filled at a discount. So if you're looking for a discount ticket, Eric might be able to help you out. Just let me know. But his agents will probably come first in line there. So Eric Brooks, Byron Pruitt, all you great guys, get on that.
Hey, Mark.
Yes, sir.
Mohammed, I'm still looking for a roommate.
Okay, guys, please note, Mohammed, I am remiss. I'm gonna type it into the leaders chat right after this meeting because I haven't done that yet. If anybody would like to split a room, Mohammed's got a room with 2 beds, and he's looking to fill the other one. And I promise you, so it's not going to be a planes, trains, and automobiles situation, right? There's 2 beds. Number 1. And number 2, I love that movie. Number 2, we don't get to sleep much at conference, right? So you're not going to be in the room very much. You're going to put your suitcase in, and you're going to be at conference, and you're going to be exhausted. You're going to sleep. You're going to get up, and you're going to be back at conference. So it's really just a place to lay your head. If you're looking to save on your trip, please, anybody that has it booked, save yourself some cash. and shack up with Mohammed because he does have he's got an extra bed in the room there. The rooms are very spacious and should be a really great time. So please speak up if you would like to share a room because Mohammed's ready for it. Thank you guys. We got some great comments in the chat. Fire starter call. Thank you, Steve Devine. So for all of you new agents, and even some of you that maybe have been around but want to pretend you're new to get a fresh start, Betsy Barr and her agency has put together an incredible week of orientation for new agents. We starting tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern is our fire starter call. That'll, no matter where you're at in the process, this will kind of get you calibrated, let you know what you should be working on, right? Because there's a lot of stuff going on. We'll help keep you focused, keep you on track, and keep you engaged, right? And along with orientation week comes some production training and some really great stuff along the way. So we're going to keep you guys corralled and on the right track. And Betsy, thank you so much. I definitely am working diligently to get to 110. We got some big numbers to meet. Obviously, I'm very blessed to have Joe Martinez and Jeff Miller on one side of the organization. They're certainly taking care of a good portion of our numbers. But we do have a goal, you know, of not too lofty of a goal. I'm just looking for everybody to do their best for their agency. If you're doing your best, we're going to achieve our goals. All
Mark,
right.
what do you need? Tell us. We want to get you to 110. What do you need? We want to all push for you.
I can't thank you enough, Betsy. If you know, I'd like to go with 115 numbers because I want to think big. I know we're going to accomplish our 110.
Okay. What do we need?
Martinez and Miller are probably doing about, you know, 180 a month inside of that agency, 180,000. Our goal for 115 is 145,000 with 29 unique writers. Now, if everybody writes an app, including Joe's team and Miller, we got the writers covered. 50%, if you guys know the rules, I can only count one leg of my business for 50%. So even if Joe's agency is doing $1 million last month, and my goal is 150, we'll call it for math's sake, I can only count 75,000 of their production toward my goal, right? That's so we don't just get lazy and hire a sales beast and kick back in the hammock, right? This is about growth.
So we all need together outside of Joe, we need 70,000.
Yep.
75,000.
75,000. Right. Now,
guys, if you're with me, come on, let's give Mark a thumbs up. Let's go. Let's go.
Woo!
Thank you. And congratulations. Thank you so much, guys. We can do this, by the way.
Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen.
Let's do it, y'all.
I can't thank you guys enough. Shelly, you just wrote 1,000 this morning, right? So we're down to 74 right there, right? It really is that easy, guys. If you take care of your business, I mean, what do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 12, 15. I mean, that's a couple laps, guys. If everybody did a part-time week, we're rocking and rolling. We've got the number of writers. I just want to see you guys accomplish what you want to accomplish for your business, because I know no one's here to just make $500 a month. And if you are, great, you're contributing. But I've interviewed many of you, and I know that's not the goal. You take care of you and yours, and the agency is going to grow accordingly. And with that, guys, just so you know, if you're new, I'm not patting myself on the back here. I'm just letting you know, I invest in my people. Okay. So if I see that you're working and you've got that resilience and you're plugging in, if you need something from me as your business partner, because that's what we are, I'm open for discussion. Okay. So I'll just say it. There's a new agent that we're working with. They're hoping for a lead matching budget. They're plugging into every single call. They've been to a live event. I've seen them grinding. Yeah, I'll be happy to do a lead matching budget so you can get on your feet. Okay, stuff like that. So the more that we can improve our numbers and produce on a consistent basis, guys, I'm going to use that to reinvest. We're going to have bigger contests, right? We're going to have bigger incentives. We'll have leadership retreats where we can all meet up at a nice resort. So think big picture here, guys, and know that the bigger our agency gets, the more things we get to do together, and the better off you're going to be, of course. So.
Well, and Mark, I just want to give a testimonial. I remember when I first started off. So, I mean, you guys hear Mark saying this and you might think, oh, well, he doesn't mean me. I remember when I first started, And I was out and I was door knocking and I didn't know what I was doing. And Mark just called me and said, hey, I see what you're doing. I see your activity. Can I match your lead budget? And so he matched my lead budget for like 4 or 5 months. I mean, Mark, it was amazing. Like, I think about where I've been in this business. I could not have been doing this without you. And so like you guys, and now I'm a leader. And so like, I was just thinking, Shelly, you wrote 1,000 APV, like we're running an incentive in my agency. So Shelly's going to get a cash bonus. I'm going to just sell that over to her today. So congratulations to Shelly. Shout out to her. So like, I'm taking my cue from Mark, what he's, led by example. And now I want to do that to pour into my people as well. And so other leaders, I just, let's all do what we can to, we're going to build. We're going to help our people grow. We're going to grow and we're going to help Mark grow. Like we're in this together. So I love that. Let's go.
Thank you guys so much. And by the way, with that, reinvesting our overrides and our bonuses into the business, they're not called capital bonuses for nothing. We don't take the bonuses and then go off to the golf course, right? We invest those in the company to make it better for you guys.
Mhm.
And a real example of that is Betsy's co-op, her recruiting co-op, which Betsy, I'd love you to talk about because I know we wanted to hit hard on that. Guys, one of the best, fastest ways to grow your business is find people that you want to be in business with, right? Grow that team because, as Chris Cook says it, a recruit without a recruit is not a recruit, okay? I could say it probably 9 different ways, but when it comes down to it, that's pretty true around here. Because when you hire somebody, whether you're brand new or you've been here a while, there's just something there, guys, that makes you a better performer, a better producer, and a better leader all the while. So hiring someone, believe it or not, will not only increase your income by way of overrides and bonuses and things like that, it will simply force you to become a better producer. As it has all of us that have hired people. So definitely look for who you can bring to these events with. I know Kaylee brought her husband Kyle. He's building a startup company of his own right now. But Kyle supported Kaylee and went to the event yesterday with her and got a lot out of it as well. Think about who you can go to conference with. I mean, this is not in, Punxsutawney, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, right? This is Denver, Colorado, guys. It's going to be a great time. There's a lot of great stuff to see. And at conference, there's just so much to learn. So think about who you'd like to be in business with, bring them to conference, get registered yourself. Just know this, guys. I want to, before Betsy gets into the recruiting funnel, I want you guys to know, if you get serious about recruiting, especially if you're under, say, an 85% contract, you're just starting out, right? I will happily give you a commission raise for bringing people to the agency. You're helping build our business, right? You're helping build our company. So you bring 2 agents to the table and they each, write their first app. I'll give you the 5% bump, whether you've earned it on the Symmetry scale or not, right? So I encourage you all to look into your circles, find who you'd like to be in business with, talk to me about it. I'll happily interview them. I'll happily answer any questions they may have. And if they're a great fit, if this is a great fit for them, awesome. We'll get them hired, contracted, and we see they're serious about it by way of, writing business and things like that. I'll make sure that you guys get a raise. Just the same. Now, this is for anybody under a 95, let's call it. No, anybody under a
85.
Thank you, 85. I was looking at the old scale. Thank you. Anyone under 85, listen up. If you bring 5 people to conference, now they've got to be confirmed attendees. They can't just register and then not come. 5 confirmed attendees, I will give you a 5% commission raise just for having 5 other people outside of yourself attending conference, because I know how important it is to your business. If you bring 10 confirmed attendees to conference with you, and mind you, that's across your agency. So Betsy, for instance, if every one of her people came and invited one person, she'd be well over the mark, right? So maybe your friend brings a friend, whatever, but it's a lofty goal because it's a lofty reward. So 10 people to conference, I will give you a 10% commission raise if you are anywhere between 70 and 85 right now. So please take that to heart. Know it's true. Check the Cook group. I'll read it to you now. Actually, there's a contest across the Cook group on top of it, in which we've got a contest here. So let me go through this for you guys.
All right, Mark, I have to head out to an interview. Sorry, but yep. Appreciate all of you guys. Let's go. Let's do it. Get in on recruiting. We've got a system for you. Let's go. All right. See you guys.
Cover that. Thank you, Betsy. So the Reimagine contest, real quick, guys, I'm going to show you this. So there's going to be one winner from agency owners. The Cooks are putting this on. I cannot win it. Betsy cannot win it, right? Joe can't win it. This is for agents that have not yet reached key leader agency owner. So there's going to be one winner from each group. The top promoter from each group started May 25th, but it's for the month. So we literally just started yesterday for June. Each winner will receive $500. It'll be presented at conference. The grand champion will win a 3-night hotel stay and 1 conference ticket. So all paid for you, right? You must have 15 conference attendees minimum for the grand champion winner. That's for me as the AO. You just have to make sure that you meet these obligations. So top 10 overall promoters will receive an invitation to the leadership retreat in October. So guys, this is huge. If you have 10 people confirmed for conference, you will receive, the top 10 will receive an invitation to a leadership retreat that we're doing in wine country at Temecula, California in October. All right. So think about that. Really get recruiting like never before. And then the scoring system, I'm not going to go over it in detail because it's on Band. Look on Band. If you want to participate in this, you want to win $500, you want to have your whole trip paid for, please go to Band and check out the contest rules. In addition, I'm going to be giving out those promotions. So one thing, because I was all Gabby today, Betsy had to go and I was going to let her cover it. But real quick, guys, Betsy does have, if you guys are interested, sharing the screen. And this is real generous. I can't tell you how much better this is than having to do it yourself. Financially speaking, that is. It's my whole everything. Build a team. Here we go. So on SFG Agent Success, which all you new agents have as of orientation, if you haven't been to orientation, be there tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. I've been using this, and Dustin is using this with me. He's already hired 2 people in the last 2 days. All right. So we have recruiting packages here. All you've got to do is supply the monthly fee investment, I should say, right? Monthly investment. You're going to get interviews every week. They'll just land on your calendar. You service the interview. I can help you. If you have an interview you want help with, I'll help you with your first couple interviews so you get the hang of it. But most of all, guys, before you do any of this, I'd recommend watching some of Chris Cook's interviews on Band. He does them every couple days. If you're paying attention, you can't miss them. Let me know if you're like, Mark, help me look out for those interviews. Just text me. I'll help you look out for them. Do let me know first, though. I'm not going to guess who wants to recruit. And then you guys can just scale up. Start with the 400, work your way up, and you could be building an agency in no time flat. This is how Jeff Miller has gone from 70 to 110 in under 2 years. Jeff will be a 120 by Thanksgiving, guys. Top of the line. He has an agent right beneath him. We're talking an equity bonus of $22,000 a month right now for leaders that bring their agents up to 120. So this is serious business, and recruiting is a big part of it if you want to expedite your path. So just so you know, we do have that co-op available. That's not something every agency does by any means. We're doing this to help you get started on a cost-effective budget. So,
Hey, Mark.
yes.
Hey, along those same lines yesterday, the business builders, the top builders, one young buck said, he got up and said that his check deposited was $8,000 for the week.
That's a bonus.
$8,000. That's,
bonus,
yeah,
right?
as a bonus. Yep. It was
Amazing.
amazing. He said nowhere ever in his life has he ever had anybody put $8,000 in his bank account. So
Yeah, they get
yeah.
crazy with bonuses here when you start producing and building, guys. I just got a deposit the other day for $1,024. They called it a builder's bonus, and I have yet to figure out how I earned it. So, and that's not because I'm that disorganized. You'll ask other leaders; they're like, I get deposits, I don't even know where they came from. It's pretty incredible. And I'm not going to go to, I'm not going to go to Sizzler with that. I'm going to reinvest it into my recruiting portal and build it even bigger. So guys, I've talked quite enough. You guys have been so generous with your time, but I hope you got a lot out of today. What I'd really like to do now is just open this up to some quick Q&A. And if you're brand new or want to pretend you're brand new, please show up to orientation tomorrow. You'll get a lot out of it. Everybody should have my cell phone number. I'm going to type it in here. If you don't, you can reach me anytime with questions, comments. You want to strategize, I'm here to help. Not to just Dustin, you have my number. Everyone, there we go. That's my cell. Put me in your book if you don't have it. Okay, Q&A, guys. Anything you'd like to know more about? Anything I might have covered that I didn't go into deep enough? No, all good.
So you said if you bring 10 people to conference, you get a 5% raise?
I'll give you a 10% raise if you have 10 confirmed attendees.
And what does that mean confirmed? Like, I mean, how do they?
They
confirm?
actually go to conference.
Okay.
It's because once in a while you will get someone to be like, I'll go, because here's the other thing. I'm not saying anybody would do this, but you could be disingenuous and be like, I'd like a 10% raise. I'll buy 10 tickets for $1,800 and get my 10% raise. I'll make it up next week, right? So to prevent anything of the sort, I just want to see 10 people confirmed at conference. Once you show me that, hey, here's my 10 people, they're here, great. I'm going to put in for your 10% raise, and you're going to get probably going to get that $500 bonus as well from the cooks.
Well, I'm shooting for it.
I love you for that, Shelly.
I can use a boost right now.
Well, and these don't have to be licensed agents or even people that are with Symmetry. That Steve and I brought, I think between the two of us, we probably brought 15 people one year, and 3 or 4 of those moved forward with us and really helped grow the business. So it's all about just finding out who this may be a fit for. And by the way, the ones that didn't end up moving forward with us still said they had an incredible time. I hate to say it, but one guy had to get carried out of a bar one night. I won't talk too much about that, but we did have a wonderful time. And they said it was, the one quote was from a guy who had just finished 5 years of business school. Remember, he's a councilman, Paul Hensley, said, guys, I learned more in that session that I learned in my entire time at business school, right? Didn't have to do with insurance sales or this or that. He said he learned more in that couple days of conference than he did his entire stint at business school. So that's how powerful some of this stuff is. That's how my other businesses outside of Symmetry have grown. I'm just looking at what leaders are doing here and applying it there too. So hope you guys really feel we care for you. We want you to succeed, and we want you to be and do your best. And we're here to help in any and every way. Whatever you put in, we'll put in and then some. Just got to see that you're serious about this and want to follow through. So thank you guys so much. You got my number. You got my email. We'll see you newbies on orientation tomorrow. And don't forget to get the book of the month. Start listening tonight or reading 10 pages a day. That's all we ask. Secret to the Millionaire Mind. Books are super cheap on Kindle, guys, and you can take it anywhere you take your phone. So
Hey, Mark, stay on here.
Okay, I'll
And-
stay on.
Yeah.
Everybody else, thank you
Please.
very much. 11:30, check.
Good luck tonight, Steve.
Oh, thank you, guys. Tonight's the, Steven, why didn't you interrupt me? Tonight is the 401k presentation by our very own Steve Devine at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Make sure you get your loved ones there. Make sure you get your clients there. Anybody that you care about, guys. We're going to talk about how to build tax-free wealth. Steve's going to show you how to not only accumulate tax-free wealth, but how to take it out tax-free. And in addition, enjoy all of that compound growth with access to market gains without access to market losses. How crazy is that? It's a real thing. It's the last known asset of its kind. And Steve's going to show us all about it tonight at 7. I guarantee you get 5 to 10 people there tonight, you're probably writing 3 or 4 apps within the week. And we're not talking term apps, we're talking IUL apps, right? So these are usually, we're well remunerated for helping people with these, not out of their pocket, out of the insurance company, as you know it. So let's help a lot of people tonight. It's not too late to register. mytaxfreeliving.com, mytaxfreeliving.com. Go there and register, have them register. There's a field that says who invited you. Make sure they put Alice Young, Mohammed Ba, Eric Brooks, Carson Newbauer, Shelly Jackson, right? So on and so on. So thank you guys so much for the long meeting today. We got a lot accomplished, I feel. And I know Kaylee is not here anymore, but Maurice is. And I got so much out of today's meeting thanks to you two. What you shared was the highlight of my day today. And I thank you guys for being open-minded, vulnerable, and the word I'm looking for describes what I'm not right now. Eloquent in describing your experience. So that's ironic. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Shelly, I'll stay on with you.
Okay, so wonderful.